Mike Begg from Beat the Banks in Spain, and this is our last video in terms of our free check, and this one is about your buildings and contents insurance. And guess what? Surprise, surprise, like life insurance sold by banks in Spain, it's stupidly expensive. But not just that, what we tend to find is the level of cover sold for buildings and contents can be absolutely all over the place. So people underinsured dramatically or overinsured dramatically. So to explain a little bit more, for buildings insurance, people who have maybe had a policy, had it pre-pandemic, of course there's some sort of indexation in there, which takes the level of cover slightly higher each year. However, following the pandemic, the price of building in Spain has gone through the roof, and you'll find out you're massively, massively underinsured. And it means that in the event of a claim, you're only going to get a very partial payout. The other bad news is in terms of contents insurance, and people don't appreciate that it's completely different from back in the UK. So back in the UK, as we always used to explain it, you take your house, you turn it upside down, you give it a little bit of a shake, and the bits that fall out, guess what? These are your contents insurance, and that's what you should be insuring. However, not in Spain. In Spain, your contents insurance also includes your kitchen. And we regularly see people who may only have 10, 15,000 of contents cover, but other than their kitchen, they might have 40 or 50,000 pounds of contents in their home, which means in the event of a claim, they're going to have a very, very partial payout. So potentially a disaster there. So what can we do about it? Well, we work with a number of specialist brokers, and what they'll do is they'll assess not just the price you're paying, but also make sure that the cover is consistent with what you need. And obviously, Spanish banks know that people don't tend to cancel their buildings and contents insurance, and they reward that loyalty by just making more and more money out of you every single year, and banks can make it difficult to cancel your insurance. However, we can provide the right templates to give to your bank, to give to your insurance company, to make sure your cover is cancelled, and to make sure that going forward, you've not just got the right cover, but you've got the cheap cover that you should have in comparison to what the banks are charging you just now.